Hello, hello, hello. I am going to do that thing that I did last time, where I'm going to go ahead and just check, see if the webcam is in sync and all those good things. Welcome MS Gamer, Car9, and Kippy. Oh, Kippy, hello and welcome. This is the super special thing. You get a little super bonus shout out if you're here early. So yeah, one moment. I'm actually going to just pull up my mic here for a moment, see if it's all in sync. My webcam, I should say. Webcam. Actually, let's do this. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's time for some good music. Some real good music, actually. All right, you ready for the face? Oh, hello. Let's see. Am I in sync? Words coming from this mouth might be in sync. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. That is all I can think of at the moment.
Thanks for hosting.
Well, heyo everyone, and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana, and let's dive into this 320-second stream where I am playing Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow. This game is a request from our friend Scooter, and boy, I could not be more thrilled to share this with all of you tonight. Now, a couple of things. First of all, tonight I'm actually going to invite Scooter in to share a little bit about his impressions of this game. In fact, we actually first kind of bonded over this game and talking about how it is a bit of a hidden gem in the SNES library. It is a very interesting game. I think that's probably a good way to put it. I will be reading a few things from the manual and also chatting a little bit about the game and some of my thoughts, of course, throughout the course of this entire stream. But I also want to hear some of Scooter's thoughts because he is very connected with this game, loves this game a whole bunch. So thank you so much for suggesting it, Scooter. I'm going to invite you in to the Discord. And while I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and put the game in the background so that people can kind of watch the. Remember when games used to do this? The attract prompt. You know, it was kind of a element of the arcade that you'd have these animations and these video segments that would just kind of run in the background. Of course, I think the other reason for this was to combat burn-in and old CRT monitors, but still, nevertheless, oh boy, do I miss it. So yeah, well, let me go into the Discord here and just hop on into, why don't you hop on into any of the chats there, Scooter? I'll drag you into the parlor, which is where ultimately we will be. And you might be able to see my name pop up. Scooter says, interesting isn't the half of it. Also says, let's get dangerous. Oops, wrong game. And Zizal, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? And welcome to everyone who came, by the way. Thanks again. I wonder if anyone's going to find this stream just via the, the Twitch Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow section. We'll find out. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing, Scooter?
I'm doing good. I am so hyped for this game. I've been waiting for it for probably about 5-6 months now, and I can't believe it's finally here. Oh,
I know. It's been too much. I'm so sorry for that.
No, it's okay. I understand. You had a lot going on. I mean, St. Jude was a really big month for you, and you just have so many games to get through. So, no, I totally understand. I'm just happy that it's getting done. That's all I'm at. Oh, man, this game has got me so excited.
I'm very excited. It's so good. I'm going to do a quick thing because I think this is going to, well, we'll see. I'll leave it. No, I'll leave it for now. I was going to mess around with Discord settings a little bit, but I think I'm going to leave it. So okay. I'm running the attract.
If there's anything else I can do to help with it, just let me know.
Oh, okay. Well, I was debating. I might change some settings later, but for now I'll leave it.
Okay.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm just running the attract mode in the background so people can kind of see some of the animation.
Yep.
I'd like to read a little bit from the player's manual. I'm told actually you have your original copy of the game with the player's manual. Is that correct?
I do. I have the instruction manual. Unfortunately, I don't have the box. A lot of my box for my original games for the SNES and N64 are gone, but I do have quite a few manuals, and this is one manual I did keep.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, how's it going, Draggles? Welcome to the stream.
Hello, Draggles, and hey, Owl. I just saw you say hi to me, so hey, buddy.
An evil guy, welcome to the stream.
Oh, yes, evil guy.
So Scooter, who I'm going to shout out now. By the way, I did mean instruction manual, not player's guide. Thank you for correcting me on that.
No problem.
So Scooter, how did you first come across this game?
Okay, it's kind of a funny story. My dad was very strict about my video games. Like I barely could play Mortal Kombat and all those games. I was probably, about 10, 12. So it's understandable, you know. He's trying to protect me from violence and whatnot. I get it. But of course, one of my really good friends got me Mortal Kombat, so he decided to look for some games that were more kid friendly. So I kind of like have an even amount of games, and he got me this one, and I was so confused. I mean, I love Disney movies, but I never heard of Maui Mallard. I'm like, who is this? I mean, he looks like Donald Duck, so maybe he's just portraying the character. So I wasn't really sure. But then I started playing the game, and it's challenging. It was definitely challenging for me, but the animation, the graphics, the music, it just blew my mind. And ever since then, this is one of my hidden classics that I love having. And it came at the end of the Super Nintendo library. As you can see, it came out in 1996, which the last game actually came out in 1997, and I believe that was Kirby's Dream Land 3, if I'm positive. Don't 100% quote me on that. But yeah, this is one of the last few games that came out on there. And you can really tell because the graphics and the music is really top notch for Super Nintendo. It's pretty mind blowing how much sound effects that they put in there. So you can definitely tell that they worked their butts off on it.
Not just their tail feathers. They worked their tail feathers off.
I like that better.
Yeah.
You on that one. They worked their tail feathers off. Oh. And, Eurocom. It's funny about Eurocom. They made a lot of ports on the Super Nintendo. They were really big on the Super Nintendo. And obviously, this is a perfect example of, how well they're porting, because this game was ported to also Sega Genesis, and the main game was on the PC. So obviously, this was a port from the PC version.
Which I actually did not
Um,
realize. I did not know that.
Yeah, that music in there is just mind blowing. Like I was telling you, like that, because they use like really big samples, and oh my goodness, it sounds like an orchestra.
Oh,
And then like the voice sound effects. I'm gonna send it to you later tonight, and so that you can listen and then tell me your thoughts on it later. But
sounds
my
good.
goodness, the music is just like, and it just
Well,
makes me realize how special the Super Nintendo version is because of how well that they ported the music and sampled it, because yeah, the Super Nintendo had really good music, but it was still limited. It was very
right,
limited.
right. It wasn't CD audio. They weren't capable of unlimited samples. Yeah, you're right. It had limits. But you're also right. I mean, I always, and having only known this version of the game, I was always impressed with the music. I'll also agree with you on the graphics, but another thing is the animation.
Oh,
It's so good.
fluent.
It's so fluid,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to play this game and show it off a bit more.
Oh,
My
absolutely.
my first example, or my first experience with this game was finding it at a rental store. And, back when you rented video games, remember those days?
Oh, back to those
back back in the old days.
in the old days when I used to rent video games from Blockbuster. You kids don't know about Blockbuster? Well, let me tell you, man, Blockbuster was your stuff back in my day.
This wasn't actually even Blockbuster. This was like the local video
Oh, one of
rental
those
store.
local
Yeah,
stores.
those are the best, right? They had the little wall full of games, and I think I'd gone
Oh,
through just
yeah,
about
I
everything, and
remember
I
those too.
saw this, and anyway, but yeah, I rented it, not really knowing anything about it, and I just remember being really confused because I'm like, who is Maui Mallard? Wait, what? What? How, why?
I
Wait,
felt the
what's
same
going
way.
on?
Who is Maui Mallard? Who is
Yeah.
this character?
Ardelia, welcome. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
early,
you'll appreciate this because it's a Disney game, Ardelia. So yeah, I
yeah,
definitely was confused by all of this, and I had the instruction manual. This was also the other thing they did is they knew people would would uh, would keep the instruction manual, so they actually made a photocopy, a black and white photocopy of all the instruction
yeah.
manuals, or to basically lend with the game. So I remember looking through that, and I actually. I tweeted earlier just an image to kind of highlight how bizarre this game actually is. I think, let me actually go back, pull that up real quick.
It is very bizarre. There's no denying that this game is very bizarre, but that's what I love because it shows creativity. It
Yes,
just shows that they actually had a decent idea, and instead of just making it, like another Toy Story, just like based off a movie or based off a cartoon, they did something completely new, and that's
right.
what I really love about it. It's so original.
I think this was, to quote my tweet, I said, I'm playing a game tonight that stars Donald Duck in a Hawaiian shirt with a bug-firing gun and a pager under the alternate persona of the plucky private eye Maui Mallard. If you need more proof of this game's ridiculosity, check this out. And I posted something from, straight from the manual, and it's just the little, like the bio of Maui Mallard, whose
Yeah, and it is
address
a
is
thumbprint.
anywhere. There's a pager number. He's a quack detective. My favorite piece. I'll let people look at it on Twitter, but my favorite piece is that they actually have the fingerprints. So how
Yes,
like
I know. I thought that was hilarious.
there's 5 squares, but there's only 4 fingerprints. The middle is left out because, of course, Donald Duck doesn't have 5 fingers. It just
Exactly.
that attention to detail just cracks me up.
Oh my goodness. I thought that was hilarious. I love having that instruction manual because it was so detailed for a game that we're just like, what is this?
Right.
It was so confusing looking at this and going through there's like, man, there's so many different types of enemies. I'm so confused. But it kind of does come together once you start playing the game. It's even though it's still very goofy, pardon my little pun there, but it's still probably one of the most creative games I've seen in a long time, and I still hold this game really high in the creativity area because
Yes.
they really went out with this game, and I wish this game got more recognition than it did. Unfortunately, everyone was too busy with Toy Story and games that were more well known from the Disney area. But
Because the movies were well known. This wasn't based on a franchise. Yeah. Even and
exactly,
it didn't even capitalize on Donald Duck because it's
no,
Maui Mallard. Yeah. Um,
exactly.
Drago says this sounds so random. I love it. I'm so glad. That's exactly. I think you're all
That
gonna
is the
really
whole
enjoy
point of
this.
this.
Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
gonna enjoy this.
I'm
But
I
And
really hope that you guys can appreciate this game. This is a game. This is why I showed it. Wanted to choose it because I wanted to choose something that you guys probably have not really seen before. Because, like I said, this is really hidden. This is a very
Yeah.
hidden gem, and it's not really that expensive too. I looked
No.
online. I think they're asking for about $10.
Yeah.
Maybe.
if you have
it's
an
not that
SNES, pick it up. Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Exactly, and so that's why I wanted to show this guy to all of you because I just think that if you want to see creativity and like some wacky stuff and just all around a fun platformer that you know it's not the basic Mario, Sonic, and all the rest of them, this is really truly worth checking out.
Right. Well, what say? Oh, look at Zizal says, "Wow, our store sells it for like $25, which is not too bad. Not too bad."
I would still pay for
Yeah.
it. I got my copy like
Worth
a while ago for like $5.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say anything under that $25 mark, you know.
Yeah,
that
anything
pick
more
it up.
don't pay for it.
Pick it
Then
up.
no. I'll be honest, it's not that good. Okay,
Yeah,
not
it's
worth like $30 or more.
and it's not. Unfortunately, what happens is you kind of discover or you promote a game that is good, and then it suddenly becomes sought after, and then of course the price goes up. Now, if this was an $80, $90 game.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
I mean, I might still be tempted. But I would probably say that I think it's probably a game that, I mean, a lot of $80, $90 games are also overpriced. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But this game, boy, I would love it if they made a modern remake on the Switch, like if
man.
.emu made it. Where like they did with Dragon Trap.
If I could go to Disney right now, I'd be like,
There you go.
Please make a remake of Maui Mallard. I will help them produce the music. I don't care. I'll do anything. Bring this game back to us.
That's right.
I swear, I would get on my knees and I'd be like, please, I'll do anything. I'll do anything for you.
Grovel.
Bring this game back.
Grovel.
Yes, Grovel is right.
The thing I want to do now, because I want to play this game and show it off for people.
Yes.
What I want to do now is actually go back to the manual for a moment, and I'd like to actually just read it because back in the day, I loved poring over the manual. I always thought that was a nice thing to do. So I want to actually just read from that, and
sure.
And do you have yours handy by any chance?
I think I do.
Don't worry if not. Don't worry if not. If you had it handy.
Take a quick look on my little shelf here and see if they're still around.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm going to read to all of you some of the goofiness of this game because I think it will help give some context for what we're about to play. Meanwhile, let me just mention Draggle says, I like anything random that you don't know what you're doing most of the time, aka mana in a nutshell.
That's this game in a nutshell.
Yep. Aztec, hello. You've come from the chat that ended and Squid stream was awesome. Oh, Squid streams are always awesome. I'm so glad you checked Squid out, Aztec. That's great. Okay, so here we go. This is from the Diary of Herne, I guess, an acolyte sorceress to the temple of Shaboom Shaboom, which
I love these names.
I'm just gonna throw that out. Okay, so this is legends foretell a time of strife when Shaboom Shaboom, guardian of the gates of vile darkness, shall fall from his place of power. All hope for the island will rest with a wanderer, a reluctant hero caught up in the end of the world, poised to save it or to condemn it for all times. So this is the name's Mallard, Maui Mallard, right? Do you have your copy here? Did you find your instruction manual?
No, I
okay.
did a quick little search and I couldn't. It's hidden away right now, and I'm not gonna try to waste time finding it.
No worries. Then I'm gonna just read this little section here, so because it's too good. It's just too good.
Go for it.
And Draggles is going to bed. Good night, Draggles. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hello. I'm so glad you got to see a little glimpse of the game in the background and a
little shaboom.
Aztec says this was Kingdom Hearts before it was Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, that's one way to put it. I mean,
little bit.
Kingdom Hearts is wacky enough, so yeah, I can put it there.
Yeah, little bit. I can go for that.
Little bit.
Little bit. Okay, so Here's what Mally Mallard says. I arrived here a washed up shell of a duck I used to be, and I liked it just fine. I'd played the game, now I'd cashed in my chips and bought a one-way ticket to oblivion. It was time to crawl into a coconut shell and hide beneath a paper umbrella. Oh, Kippy has to go to bed too.
Well, I gotta go to bed
All right,
because
good night,
I
Kippy.
have work
Thanks
tomorrow.
for the 1 bit to Nana.
Good night, Kippy. Yes, Oblivion was my kind of place, but she walked in the door and changed my life. Brother, she had gams up to her neck. I was telling Ms. Mana about this game before, because I don't think we've played it together. I don't think she saw it, so I was describing it to her. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna play tonight, and I said, like, just listen to. I read this to her. I just listened to it, and she just, I mean, the eye roll was incredible. She's like, oh,
Trust me, if I
brother.
had no clue what you were talking about, I'd probably give you the same eye roll. Like, what are you talking about? What is this?
But enough about her. Let's talk about you. What do you think of her? No, wait. Let's talk about this journal you're holding in your hot little hands. On its pages, you'll find my notes on file 35, the case of the missing mojo. Believe me, everything I've written here is as true as the sky is blue, the grass is green, and her hair that carried the soft scent of fresh wildflowers. Sorry. So, as I prepare to board a ship that will take me away from the nightmare that has been my life, I take one last look through this chicken scratch, or make that mallard scratch, and recall the frosty and ferocious foes I had to battle, from the vicious mudrakes and their giant frog god to the witch doctor and his powerful mojo spells. I can't help thinking that for a guy with a death wish like me, this place was a dream come true. Maybe I'll stick around for a while after all. This is from the manual to a Disney game starring Donald Duck. What?
This is why I love about the manual, because they were so detailed about this random story that, you know, truly really doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's doing a Donald Duck portrayal as Maui Mallard. That's why I just find so creative that the fact not only the game is, but they made the instruction manual as wacky as the game. It shows so much detail.
Yep.
Honestly, I feel like it's more detailed and well put together than the Mario World manual. That's a lot to say right
yeah,
there.
probably
I feel like
so.
They really put their efforts into this game. You could tell. You can tell.
Yeah. Oh, they for sure. So here's the last thing. I was gonna have you read this, but I'll read this one. This is the notes on the adventure. So this is just gonna give a little bit of context for everyone as we play. That gave context, I guess, story context. This gives some logistical context. So what we're actually seeing and doing here. So here's the skinny. I had stumbled right onto the scene of a crime, and it hurt. The idol of Shaboom Shaboom had been stolen, and the islanders were willing to pay big bucks for its return, so I took the job, even though big bucks usually means big trouble. You can't prepare yourself for danger, it comes to you suddenly like a sneeze. But there are a few things you can do to up your chances of pulling through. Stock up on ammo, which is bugs, by the way. So that's always... That's always cool.
Yeah, they're using bugs. Don't ask why. just go along with it. Okay.
Stay cool with lots of tropical punch. If you don't know why I'm talking about, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, flip to the loot section and read about it. So it actually goes into this tropical punch elixir that's so good, and yeah. And then number 3, this is the bullet point they say. This is like the notes for how to play this game. It says, "Don't die."
Great portrayal right there. Don't die.
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally, oh yeah, the legend of Shaboom Shaboom says that if the idol isn't returned within 3 days, the whole island will go kaboom kaboom. So you better step on it.
Shaboom shaboom to kaboom kaboom. Clever.
I just love this. I just love it.
This is so
good.
90s. This is so 90s. I love it.
Great.
This is just taking me back to my inner kid right now. That's why I'm loving it so much.
It's
taking me
good.
back.
So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna read the segments, the sections that are here in the game. So we'll just do that real quick. Let's see here. In the darkest heart of the island, there lives a band of tiny warriors who have always carried a torch for Shaboom Shaboom. They'd probably like to have a stuffed Maui mounted on their wall. So Oh, I guess that's Mudrake Mayhem right there is what that's taking us to. So I guess I think we're good here.
Yeah.
Zizel says, "I do love your portrayal, Mana, but I would love to hear this in Donald's voice."
Yeah.
I've never
I
been able
was
to
thinking
do.
the same exact thing, but I wish I could do Donald's voice, but I can't. I could do Goofy, I could do Mickey Mouse, but unfortunately, Donald Duck is not something I can do.
I've never really tried it, but I don't think I want to right at the moment. Oh,
Yeah, see, that's like the
that's
best I
pretty
can
good.
do.
So
Yeah,
here we
but
go.
trying to do a whole, that's like a random sound effect, not really like words. I don't think, I'll try. That's it.
Oh,
No, I can't do it.
yeah, it's hard, but that was pretty good. So
thank you.
first things first, I'm going into options. I'm going to put this onto easy.
Yep, I always do the same thing, so don't worry. You're not alone in that one.
We're not even going to mess around
No,
here.
we're not going on to normal.
Nope.
I don't even know what normal means. Probably means to get hit more,
Right.
like damages more. That's what I'm gonna guess.
But we made it to 2 levels of Prince of Persia yesterday. We're gonna stick with this.
Yeah, let's try to get far as possible in this game. That's the key here.
That's right. So let's see. That was weird. I just changed it to easy, and then the attract mode kicked in. So, all right, we're gonna start this off. But so maybe I'll have you stick around for maybe the first level or so, and then we can talk about some of the things we're seeing, and then maybe I'll swap out and go solo from there if that sounds good.
Whatever, it's your show. You just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll follow along.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so Shaboom Shaboom, a powerful Mojo idol, has protected this island for centuries. Tonight, the idol is missing. Last reported sighting, Mojo Mansion, level 1. That's where we're at. What were you gonna say?
It just went away.
Oh no, sorry. Okay.
No, it's not your fault. It was stuck in my mind, and if I remember, I'll let you know.
Okay, so here look already. I love this little spinning animation. Look at this.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know the animation is so top notch in this. It shows what the true capabilities of what the SNES can do.
And I'm actually here. We're gonna zoom in here. We got to show you. We got to show you nice and look at this. I mean, this animation is fantastic. I've just gone super zoomed in here. You can see. I mean, this is just your idle animation for the. I almost said Donald, but Maui. I mean, look how great that is. And his whole, bug blaster spinning, the map checking. I think in a second here we'll see one of the more fun animations, just so good.
Oh yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about too.
It actually happened right before I switched to this.
Yeah. And then it's also really funny to watch. I'm not gonna exactly spoil, but another power up he gets. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. You'll see. But he does have some other really funny animations with that too. That's how detailed they were. It's like different power ups, different animations. That's how detailed. That's why I really love the creativity here. They really went all out.
Oh, and I just noticed too that when you move your bug blaster around, there's actually this deep kind of whooshing sound. Like it's like, I mean, it's just so much attention to detail.
Oh, absolutely.
And Zizel says he reminds me of a young Tom Selleck.
Young Tom Selleck, Magnum PI. It does.
Oh, that's so funny.
Donald Duck PI. PDPI. Or I guess MMPI.
MMPI. I just want him to do his funny little animation there. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Okay, well, I'll see it.
It just happened. Cool. All right. So that's that. So you've got basically left and right. You can look up. You can look down. You can jump. You can fire, and you can fire, I believe, in all directions. Now your bug blaster, or 8 directions, I should say. Your bug blaster refills or recharges. You have 50 blasts, and you can just hold down that blast button. And look, see already, already this game just throws you off your guard immediately. You go through that hidden entrance to the outside through the bookcase.
I'm like, whoa, what am I doing?
Look what just happened. So, let's go back. Oh, let's go back there actually. Man, I mean, just look at this. How clever. The wind is pushing me back, and then I'm trying to get up this chain. I,
Yep.
this game, man.
Oh yeah, it just brings me back memories. Like, a lot of people would like put like Mario World on their top list of platformers, but honestly, I feel like this does a lot more. And it's kind of an unfair comparison because apples to oranges, and Mario World came out in '91. This came out 5 years later, so obviously they can improve in areas. So it's kind of a hard one to say which one really is better. But it just blows my mind. Like when I like now when I play Mario World and play this back to back, it's mind blowing how much differences they can do. It's mind boggling to me.
I loved this era of gaming because I think the end of a video game generation often brings some really beautiful, incredibly technically impressive games, and this, of course, is a good example of it. And yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, Super Mario World being a launch title, it was a launch title, right?
Yes, it was a launch title.
You're right, apples to oranges to some extent, because they'd at this point figured out ways to really maximize the hardware potential of the Super Nintendo.
Absolutely.
But for my money, we were talking about the PlayStation Classic that's, that was announced last night. We were talking about that.
Yes, we were.
Man, for my money, this holds up more than any of those early, Polygon games. This is just beautiful.
I will have to say that too. And I mean, this really could I mean, obviously they'd probably do a little bit more sprucing up, make it more 32-bit style. But this game really does help. Like, I even think to today, especially with a lot of those platformers that are coming to indie titles that are 8-bit or 16-bit, I think this game still holds up in that regard.
Right.
Even when you think about it, that because of the animation, it's so fluent. It's not stiff like most games out. It makes me honestly think of Sonic Mania because the animation in that is so fluent and stuff. And this game is, in animation and everything, it's so fluent just like that. That's the closest comparison from this game from 1996 I can compare to today's games is Sonic Mania. It's a really good example.
I like that. And welcome, Jenna. Welcome to the stream.
Yay.
Yeah,
Hey, Jenna.
I think one of the things too. By the way, actually, speaking of the PlayStation Classic, we were talking about that yesterday.
Yes.
I was doing a little bit of further research just on my own, just seeing if I caught anything, and
okay.
And basically, I'm still torn. Pre-orders are up on Amazon. I believe they've been up on Best Buy.
Yeah, I think they're on Best Buy as well.
There was a part of me that thought maybe I should do it, but I'm still waiting to find out what other games are coming out for it. But I realized here was a game. Right. I thought of a game that I would add to the list, and it's the oh gosh, I've forgotten the name of it now, but the Ape Escape. That's what it is.
Oh, Ape Escape, yeah.
But you know what? I realized it was the one of the first PS1 or PlayStation titles that required the DualShock or the analog sticks.
Oh,
so it wouldn't be playable. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in that, but I think the build quality looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing I also learned today, in keeping in this subject of minis,
sure,
is that apparently the Genesis Classic Edition is being delayed, and they are going to be shifting development to Japan, and it will no longer be made by At Games, and they're going to try and really, I think, hold it up, hopefully, to the quality of the Nintendo counterparts. I
really hope so, because the At Games, 3 times in a row, you strike out all 3 times. It's time to kind of like, sorry, At Games. I know you're probably trying, but it's kind of ridiculous at the point where you can't get it right 3 times in a row. I'm sorry.
Well, I was thinking that maybe, who knows, maybe there's a... I want to imagine that Nintendo reached out to Sony and said, hey, look, we need to get a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition out there. We've got the NES and the SNES out this season. What about you drop a PlayStation 1 Classic, and then we'll get the N64 next year. Can you
That would
imagine?
be really cool. It'll take you right back to the days with
Right,
N64 and PS1 going back at it.
right?
And it's actually funny that you brought the Sega thing up because I don't know if you saw the news, but I'll be happy to report to you that the Sega Genesis collection that just came out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC is now officially coming to the Switch.
Oh, great. Oh, that's great news.
This winter it's coming out, and it's going to have not only the online capabilities like promised, but it will also feature one exclusive thing to the Switch, which is the local co-op with the Joy-Cons and whatnot.
Nice.
So they finally answered our prayer. I'm thinking, oh, come on. This is what you need on the Switch right now. This is what you need. People are going to go crazy for this. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad I held off and not got the PS4 version. I'm so glad.
Yep.
So that's a little thing on there. But before we get off the Sony thing, I wanted to quickly express my opinions on the whole thing.
Sure.
I know I said a little bit about it, but I think it's a good time to talk about it. I like the concept. Everyone, especially for the people who really grew up on the PS1, this is probably going to be something up their alley for sure. But in my opinion on it, it's kind of hard for me to put the $100 towards it because of the fact that there's some people out there like me that still have a PS3 that can play PS1 game disc, and it uses HDMI. The difference with the NES and the SNES Classic, besides Virtual Console, there is no way to play the games in HD easily.
Right, without a
buying
very
all the Virtual
expensive
Console.
upscaler, yeah.
Exactly, except the upscaler and all those type of things. So I think it makes it a little bit harder for me to really put the money down on this, especially when they're lopping on things like, well, we're not going to give you an AC adapter, and those are kind of things that just kind of like, are you really trying to give us everything that we really want here? I mean, I know it's a little thing because I'm sure we all got tons of small AC adapters or USBs right around the corner, and we probably all do. I get that, but I just feel like that's just, I don't know, that just feels kind of like a misstep for me. So I don't know how seriously they're going to take this, and it still worries me about what games they're going to choose because the PS1 is such a very diverse system. It has so many different type of games, and it's really hard to sit down and go, okay, what 20 games are we going to put on this thing? It's going to be a little bit easier with the N64 because unfortunately Rareware games are not going to be there.
Right.
Because
unless we get really surprised, Microsoft has played pretty nice with Nintendo. Oh, hold on. Hang on a second, everyone. I just got moved to AFK. Oops, sorry about that. I was just gonna say I got moved to AFK here. I was just saying, as you said, Rareware wouldn't be there. I said, well, we never know for sure because Microsoft has been playing well with Nintendo lately.
And you know what? That is a good point. I did think about that as well because Phil Spencer, has been really showing some great support with the whole crossplay with Nintendo. It's really showing, like they still have their little friendly competition, but they're supporting each other. Unlike PS4 is kind of like, I'm staying out of this one.
Right.
So there is a possibility that it could happen. You're absolutely right, but I just still think the likelihood is still probably slim. It's a chance. But I still think it's slim. So, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm not going to just knock them out and say, no, it's totally not going to happen. Because, hey, I didn't think Final Fantasy VII was coming to the Switch.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, it's finally coming to the Switch after 21 years. Nintendo wins the cartridge war.
I love that. It's so true. It's so true.
So I just find it funny that, hey, anything. Oh, and also Night Trap. We never thought Night Trap was coming to the Nintendo Switch because they even said it back in 90s. Night Trap will never come to a Nintendo platform. And lo and behold, it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. So I guess I really should say never say never. So
it's all chaos in the world. Who knows anymore?
It really, I feel like
up is down and down is up and left is right.
I feel like really from Jumanji, what year is this? It feels like we're going back in time, and seeing him play this game tonight really makes me go back in time to when I was probably about 10 years old and I first got this game and felt so wacky, but I enjoyed every minute of it, and I still never beat this game. I'm gonna be truthful. I have never beaten this game.
I didn't when I rented it. By the way, I'm like stuck here. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
There's like an invisible platform.
Okay, so what you need to do, you need to go to the left there. It's going to be a little bit delayed, but I'll try to help you out the best I can.
Okay.
Can't go that way.
That's all I need to do. Okay.
Yeah.
But I almost jumped on some kind of hidden wall, but okay, there we go. I got it.
Yeah, maybe you can. I've never found an invisible wall there. This level was a little bit more of a maze. It was a little tricky the first time that I played it.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right. By the way, this game, Squid Alley says the camera in this game makes him dizzy. It is a little tough. Actually, I will say this is another thing about my hopeful desire. Eventually, speaking of how hard it is to get, HDMI or high definition out of these old consoles. Something like the FrameMeister is definitely something I would be interested in, because I know that if this was running at 60 frames per second, it'd be a little bit clearer and cleaner for you. Maybe upscaled would make a difference. There is just a little bit of like a shimmer. And then the truth is, even with something like the FrameMeister, let me tell you, this looks so much better on a CRT television. Everything looks smooth. Everything kind of gets rounded out. I mean, that was the thing about pixel graphics back then, is basically it was designed for a CRT. So everything looks super smooth, and as if it was, like I won't say it doesn't look like a modern HD game, because it's not as crisp, but it sure looks close. And I think
And just another thought, and like you said, this is not going to be for everyone, so take this kind of part with a grain of salt, because I do have a physical copy, so don't get me wrong, like I wanted to make sure that I have original stuff as well. But putting this on the SNES Classic for me just really shows a lot more of what this game really had, because you can see it in 60 frames and it's a lot more smoother as well. It kind of gives you an idea of what it could have been if it brought into the modern world.
But I will say,
the way I kind of look at it.
I will say that I'd rather save any talk about emulation for another time, but I think that you're never going to find anything for these games that's going to make it look as authentic to the artist's original intent as a CRT television. And with that in mind, I think it really is the ideal way to play it. It does make everything, in my opinion, look a little bit nicer, a little bit softer and smoother. And CRT is not a perfect technology, and there's a reason that it's not the technology we use today. But if anyone is out there who's interested in retro gaming, let me tell you, a CRT television is a very easy purchase to make, and it's actually a far superior method of playing your games than getting some kind of HD upscaler or fiddling with lag and everything that you would introduce by playing in HD.
On that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just, fortunately, stuff like FrameMeisters and whatnot, they're very costly. They do cost a chunk of change. So
I'm looking at these things now that are like open source upscalers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of got, oh my gosh, this organ scene, this is ridiculous.
Oh yes, I love the organ thing. That's so cool. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, is the detail in this game. And by the way, hi Dark Solid.
Yes, hello Dark Solid X. And Kaylin.
And Kaylin as well. Hello. But yeah, it just shows how much detail they put in this game. And that's why this game really holds a treasure in my heart, because, no pun intended. But it just really shows what, like if I would really want to show a game that really showed the true potential of what the Super Nintendo could do, this would be probably one of the first games I showed them.
Oh, I forgot about this boss.
And they're going to be like, wait, what? What is this game? And I'm like, just play it and see it for yourself, and you'll see why I hold this game dearly, because it just shows all the efforts that they put into it. Like, you could just tell that the developers behind Disney and Eurocom really worked hard to make this game fun. Yes, the big spider.
Wow.
Sorry, if you don't like spiders, sorry.
that because it's been a while. It's been years since I played this. I got this game. I picked it up at a convention, actually. Was that where I got it?
Oh, a convention, really? Okay, cool.
I think that's where I got it. I picked it up.
Okay. And it looks like you're gonna go
honestly,
to the bonus.
I don't remember. I actually don't remember.
You're
Babaloo Baby.
Oh, okay.
So I'm curious. This is the bonus level. It looks like a Looney
It
Tunes
almost
game.
looks like a Looney Tunes game. Yeah, you're not really wrong. Looney Tunes games did kind of have the style back in the 90s.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. So, actually, I'm curious what everyone out there who's been watching thinks of this.
Yeah, I'm curious. What have you guys been thinking about? Because I really chose this game for you guys. I mean, and it was really cool that me and Mana really talked about it and, really clicked on this game. That's what. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I. Okay, yes, I'm finally able to tell you because it was me. So when I requested this game, I was shocked because remember I told you I'm going to send you this game if you don't have it. And
Yep.
remember my face reaction? Well, I don't think you really saw my face.
I didn't
reaction
see your
when you
face,
said,
but yeah.
Right, but you heard my reaction when you're like, I have a copy. I'm like, I was happy. I was like a kid when I got my N64. Like no joke. I was so happy he actually had a copy of this game because honestly, I feel like no one knows about this game.
Yeah.
And it's sad because this game really is, I feel, a hidden gem.
Yeah.
It didn't get the sales it wanted and whatnot because it was at the end of the SNES era, and obviously it didn't really have something that was well known to people who played it, or like anything to like a cartoon. It was their
Right.
own try it, and I thought it was successful in that yard, but unfortunately it wasn't a critical success because it didn't make the money and stuff, and that's why we probably
Right.
the reason why we never got a sequel.
Right. Right.
But man, I wish they would do a sequel. I'm gonna call Disney.
There you
I'm
go.
calling Disney tomorrow.
Well, I've been so
you guys
impressed.
remember the Game Boy Mallet? They probably won't even know what I'm talking
I know they're like,
about.
what? Oh,
What game are you
gosh.
talking about now?
I can't find the other 2 fireworks. No, I didn't get the
Oh,
other 2
this
fireworks.
is the hard part. See, and
Can't
this is
remember where they
actually
were.
another little aspect that I like about
Yeah.
this game is with the bonus game, you're wondering what's the point of all this? This is how you get your password.
Yep. And I didn't get a password, so
Nope.
so I better not
No.
mess up.
Yeah. So you have to earn your passwords in this game. And I thought that was a very interesting concept instead of, hey, you beat the level, here's your password. In this game,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, no. You earn your password.
It's a good point. You have to collect enough treasure to get there. Ooh, giant metal spider,
Yeah.
creeping ghost butlers. This thing could be deeper than anyone guessed. But yeah, I'm definitely wondering what people. Oh, might be time for a change of costume.
Oh.
This
yeah.
is the Ninja Training Grounds, everyone.
My all-time, probably one of my favorite songs of all time in video game history.
Ooh, nice.
Honestly, this is the one thing I was going to say because I know you wanted me kind of like leave at some point here, but this is the one thing because
No, go for it.
this is the part I really love getting to. This is the level this is the world, I guess technically, is the area that I love going to. It is so much fun, and the animation is also really, really funny as well.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah, I'm
music-
definitely not kicking
the
you out
music in-
because I like this commentary. The music in this.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, the music in this game, I love that first track. It was really creepy, but this one, it just blew my mind. Not because of just like the music in it, but the sound effects. They put like birds going away and everything. It just blew my mind because in Super Mario World, I mean, you got to hear like a Yoshi sound effect, but it didn't really have the ambiotic feel that this game did. It's kind of like Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country put more ambiotic and they put monkey sounds and other things. This is the exact same type of thing that they did here. Except the difference with this game is more cartoony than what Donkey Kong Country was.
Yeah.
So just hearing all that jungle feel, it really makes you feel you're in a jungle.
Right.
You are really in the jungle, and the music, it just fits so well, and it's why it's one of my favorite soundtrack, like one of my favorite hidden soundtracks of a video game. Because, like, I would tell people, what are some of my favorite music? Oh, definitely Ninja Ground Training and Maui Mallard, and they're like, what? What are you talking about? And
So-
then I have to show them the song, and they're like, whoa.
So I gotta
was
share
super
now.
cool.
I gotta share. Let's take a pause because right now this is just brilliant game design here. So
Sure, go ahead.
you come in this section, right? So you're the little ninja, Ninja Maui. You come in here and you see right over here. You see there's this ninja enemy that's just doing this little thing right here. And so you learn, oh hey, I can use my staff on these little duck skulls and swing and sway. Then
Yep.
you come over here and look, what's this guy doing? He's doing some kind of goofy thing with a staff, and he seems to be climbing up here. Well, spoiler alert, you can do that in this game. So, I mean, it's just, I love that because it's actually not in your face, but it's super crystal clear that you can do those things. And I remember not really having read all of the manual, completely, cover to cover when I first played this, trying, as often one would do, trying to figure it out on my own. And I remember just coming to the stage and I figured it out just by those context clues.
Yeah, that was a very clever way of them pretty much making it training for you. Like, you see this, you can do it. And that also brings me a point with it. It's really cool for once, because I don't see too many video games do this, where you do the same moves as your enemy.
That's
I don't
true.
see
Yeah,
that very often in
that's a
video
good
games.
point. That's a good point. Well, anyway, oh man, I do say this game is impressive. I don't remember when I picked it up, but I remember that ever since I picked up since I rented it, I always had a soft spot for this game. I liked it from the get-go. And one of the things about me and the way I collect video games is my primary focus is on games that I played, that I had some kind of connection with back in the day. And so I wanted to play or to get this game because I remember playing it. So if I owned it and sold it, that's like a real high priority for me. If I rented it and really liked it, that's a priority, but not a super high one. If I had a friend who owned it and we played it a lot, then it's a higher priority, but not necessarily the highest. But but this one was a pretty high priority. This one, and actually Batman, the Adventures of Batman and Robin. Those two games, kind of both for similar reasons. I think I rented them at the same store. In fact, I had a connection with them, and I wanted to purchase them, and so I don't remember now. It may have been in a small shop that I picked it up. It may have been at a convention. I know I've had it for a while, and of course the backlog is real, and I hadn't played it for a little while. But when you mentioned that you wanted me to play this game, I was excited because I wanted to be able.
I'm so glad
to
you're
dive
excited. First thing I was thinking, is he gonna even know this game? That's the one thing my first thought, because anytime I told anyone about this game, they're like, "What are you talking about, Chase? What are you talking about? What game are you talking about here?" I'm like, you play as like Donald Duck portrayed as Maui Mallard, and he gets to be like a ninja and stuff like that. And I'm like, they're looking at me like I'm not even on this planet, like seriously. And then I told you about it, and you're like, yeah, and I got a copy, and I'm like, someone understands what I'm talking about. Finally,
someone
it's
gets
a
me.
Christmas miracle. I never rented this game. Like I said, my dad just picked this up for me. So this was a really random buy.
Bold move, Scooter Dad.
Yes. Thank you, Dad, for getting me this game, because this is definitely one game I don't regret. And this was before I had my N64 with Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and GoldenEye. Those were the three games that I got when I originally got my N64 for Christmas. Thing is, I didn't even get a Super Nintendo for Christmas. What happened is, one of our really close friends just wanted to get rid of his. He was getting older. He was more into the PC gaming. He was getting into games like StarCraft and Diablo and stuff like that. And, he made a really good deal for us, and we got the system. It came with Yoshi's Island. Not Super Mario World, but Yoshi's Island. It was one of the newer bundles. It was, one of the last few bundles that they made for the Super Nintendo. And so then he went and got me some other games. Super Mario World was on the list because obviously he knew Mario. I played Mario 3 like crazy, so he thought, yeah, Mario World's a good choice, and it is. And then Street Fighter 2 was on there. I got that as well. And Star Wars, all three Star Wars, because me and my dad were really huge Star Wars fans, so he's like, he had to get those for me, which are another one of my hidden gems.
Nice.
But those were a little bit more well-known compared to this game.
So, two things. First of all, MS Gamer says, "Wait for retro games. Do spoilers count for spoilers? How many years have gone by that people don't know?" So
No, that's a
actually,
good
funny.
question.
Well, so funny thing about that for me, I actually like to say that there's sort of a period of time where it's out of spoiler territory, but then it sort of cycles back because it's a new generation and whatnot. I say if it's ever something that is significant, just don't give away things that you appreciated not having known beforehand yourself.
Good point. You know, that's a really good point because the fact that a lot of people are playing Undertale, and you played it,
true.
Jay,
Yeah.
you're playing it, and Hacks and Snacks are, and I still have not played it yet, so I'm gonna get the
Yeah.
Switch version. I
There
am
you
getting
go.
it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I go into lurk mode. It's like I don't want this game spoiled for me because
Right.
I want to play it myself. So it's really hard to really tell when is a good point to say, is it really okay to spoil right now? I'm gonna probably say, I guess it really depends. It's really going to depend on the person. I don't really think it's going to really come down to
That's probably
how
true.
old
Some
does it
people
have to
don't
be.
mind. Yeah, some people don't mind.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know, I just realized
Yeah.
I forgot about this detail, and I don't remember how it's connected, but
Okay.
oh my gosh, I gotta, hold on, I gotta just zoom in
I
here.
love the details of this game. So amazing.
So one of the things that I was thinking about is that your belt changes color.
Yes.
So
That
what
is a good
what's, do you remember why?
Okay. If you look up, do you see the number of yin yangs that you have? I don't know exactly
I
what they're called in
do.
the game, but that's
Yes.
technically what they are. So the more yin yangs you have, the higher your belt is. Just another part of the detail, and you get to do a little bit more fancier moves the more yin yangs you have.
Okay.
It's another way to show how stronger your character is getting. And the highest you can get is a black belt.
Okay.
Just like in regular kind of like karate style, it kind of goes with that. And it's like I said, it's just another one part of the details that they did in this game. So you start off with a white belt like you do in like normal kind of karate and stuff like that, and you work your way up to a black belt. I think there is something above that, but I don't remember. It's been kind of a while since I played this. But as far as I know, 999 yin yangs, that's the most you can get from what I've known, and you get the black belt.
Okay.
Which is the highest level. So that's pretty much what it is. Just think of it as normal like karate, aikido, and Shotokan and all that type of stuff. It's kind of like that.
The next thing is I always struggled getting the first hit on those ninjas.
Oh, that is a little tricky because these guys are not, your typical enemies where they'll just kind of like come at you and stuff. They will fight you. It's type of, that's the kind of detail that I'm talking about in this game is like those enemies don't play around. They really don't. They can easily hurt you and you can easily die. That's what makes this game kind of difficult. So if you don't like a little bit harder platforms, this one might be a little bit hard, and but I think it really is rewarding once you really get into it because you get to see just a lot of the creativity and what they did.
Yep.
But the best way I say to hit the enemies first is jump attack them. That's usually stuns them enough so then once you get back on the ground, then you can do a few swipes at them and it usually knocks them out. You might get hit maybe once in the process, but that's the closest that I found that seems to work. Or if you really want to be cheap, jump attack them until they're done.
But
If
even
you
the
really
timing
don't
on
wanna
those
get
jump
hit at
attacks
all.
is pretty tricky,
It is. This game actually requires skill, and you're thinking, what? Platformer really requiring skills? Yes, this game really does.
Oh,
it really does make you think on your.
I never think
feet.
that. Actually, frankly, I think platforming games are some of the most challenging, really. I mean, like most games, it takes different skill sets. So, a turn-based RPG, I used to belittle by saying, where's the challenge? Because you can take your time, push your menu buttons whenever you want. But it's more of a strategic way of thinking, I realized later on. But
now, just when you beat those enemies there, actually, I just saw that. See, the way I found to beat those guys without getting harmed is ducking and swiping at them. You swipe really fast. It's not as strong of an attack, but you will not get hit.
I forgot about that attack there. You're right. Yeah. That is a nice little trick. I do remember that now. I remember using that a lot, even on these ones.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't work so well.
I think do those against the regular guys, but
yeah, I just realized
during
that.
the charging guys, you'll be okay.
Yep. Yep. So everyone out there, again, I'm really curious. What are you thinking of this game so far? It's definitely a different one, right? And
Oh, it's definitely.
I'd love to hear your impressions of it if it's
Yeah,
what you
I'm
expected.
curious.
And
I'm very curious.
also, I'm curious about how the levels sound between Scooter and I realized I hadn't actually checked on that, but I like
Oh,
to just
yeah.
ask just to make sure.
If I needed to be louder and stuff, please let me know or anything like that. I can always mess with some settings myself.
You should
So
be fine actually, because I can adjust things on my end. So
that too. But
yep.
just in case, if there's something that I could do to help it out, I'm always willing to do what I can. Because I also have a fan going in the background because it does get a little hot. So if I need to turn that down a little bit, if that is bothering anyone, just please let me know.
Well, my computer fans lately have been so noisy. I wish I had a way to handle that better, but in the
Oh,
absence
see,
of
you're a
it,
black belt.
yeah. Oh, I'm a black belt. Nice. Oh yeah, I
You
almost
are
have
the black
1,000 yin yang tokens or soul. I think they're called soul tokens or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of them now, but yeah, you are at pretty much the full amount, and you are officially a black belt ninja.
Oh. Well, Zizal says that yes, we can both be heard, which is always good. Oops. Darn.
Good.
Okay.
Glad to hear that.
This jump is a bit of a challenge.
Oh yeah, the skill. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Eurocom, I really didn't know that they did that much with Disney. I'm surprised in hindsight because
I don't think they did actually a lot with
Yeah.
Disney. I think this is one of their very few games. You know what? While you're playing for a second, I'm gonna look up Eurocom.
Please,
I'm
please.
curious to see what else they did.
let's make this educational. Hey, look, I have 999 of those tokens now. I am a full-fledged black belt, which means I do have a special attack, which I think I can use the L and R buttons to do a special spin if I'm inclined to do that. So maybe next enemy I'll give that a go. Maybe I'll try it here real quick.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
here's a little bit of information straight from the top here. Eurocom is actually a British video game developer, founded in October 1988 by Matt Sneap, Chris Shrigley, Hugh Binns, Tim Rogers, and Neil Baldwin.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick to say, see those little green stones on the right, just below me? When you use your staff to pin the wall like that, if you hang on that, those go away and you fall. Just another little detail. I mean, it's just amazing. Anyway, yes.
All the little things that they do, I love it.
Right.
Let's see some of the bigger games and see if I can find some like really, really interesting ones. Okay, let's see. So they did James Bond Jr. on the NES. They did Lethal Weapon on the NES, Game Boy, and the Super Nintendo. That's interesting. They did Disney's Jungle Book.
Ah, yes, that makes so much sense. And that's right. Okay. I thought that was, what was it, Vivendi or whatever like that, but that was no, or Viacom or Vivendi. I can't remember which one I'm thinking of now.
I think Viacom.
Viacom did Lion King, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Or no,
yes,
Virgin did. No.
Oh no,
wait.
Virgin. You're right.
Yeah.
Virgin did that. No,
All-
Viacom did all the Nickelodeon.
That's what it was. Yeah, all of
They did
all these
the
V
Ren and
names.
Stimpy games, Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco's
and
Modern
all
Life. That
those.
was a fun game. I should play that
Oh,
sometime.
that was such a goofy game. That's for sure. Let's see any interesting ones here that goes off the top. They did Earthworm Jim for the Game Boy and the Game Gear, so they did the portable version for that. That's interesting. They did Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the PC. Okay.
For the PC, interesting.
Yeah, they did Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Saturn.
Oh.
Interesting. They did Cruisin' World for N64 and another Disney game. Actually, they got a few Disney games, surprisingly. Disney's Hercules, that is on the PlayStation and the Windows computer. They did.
Oh, interesting.
Another game. This is a game that I also have that no one really knows about. Again, it's not really a gem to me. It was just a game I played in an arcade a lot, and I really enjoyed it. So I found it for the N64, and I also now have it for the PlayStation. War Gods, which is from Midway as well, and it's a fight. It was basically their 3D fighting test game before they brought Mortal Kombat 4 out, which is also on this list. Eurocom ported this Mortal Kombat 4 arcade to N64 PlayStation and PC as well. So it was really their test run. Duke Nukem 64. That was done by them. Also, Duke Nukem 0 Hour.
What I'm hearing is a lot
Hydro
of games
Thunder.
I didn't really have a much interest in.
Yeah, I figured, because a lot of them are the violent fighting games. It seemed like Eurocom was really up and over with those.
But I guess
Hydro
that
Thunder,
makes sense if they were a PC. If this was a PC game first and then this was a port, that now it kind of makes more sense.
yeah, it seems like Eurocom was a huge part of porting.
Oh my gosh!
It obviously seems like that.
Look at
You can totally
when
see
you
them
dug down. And Zizel says I can totally see them doing Jungle Book. It does feel similar. It even just now that we're in the jungle, right? But oh my gosh, that's adorable. Just hanging in there.
Oh, you'll be interested in this. Crash Bash. They did Crash Bash.
Oh yeah. Well, that's right. I do remember that. Weren't they? Yeah, they kind of did. They did a lot of stuff with the PlayStation. That's I think what I'm starting to realize. Yeah.
Or was their really big area. They did stuff on the Game Boy and the SNES and whatnot, but their big stuff that people are really well known for is usually the N64 and the PlayStation era.
Okay.
Yeah, because they also did Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex for the GameCube specifically.
Yeah, that's why I recognized the name. Okay, yeah, that is actually Ms. Mana's favorite Crash game, by the way.
Oh,
and that version at least doesn't have as nasty of loading times as the PS2 version.
Yeah,
if anyone
man,
knows that.
the loading times in that game. Oh man.
Yeah, those are some rough loading times.
And they go all the way to the 2010s because they ended in 2012. But here's a nice little fact for you: the GoldenEye 007 Wii make. That's what I like to call it, the Wii make, because it was only on the Wii for a little while. Then they brought it over to PS3 and Xbox 360. Eurocom also did that one as well.
I am so sorry. I just took a moment to check the audio levels myself, just because I like to do that from time to time.
Oh sure, no problem.
But yeah, I did miss that last thing you said. Sorry.
Oh yeah, like I like to call Wii make because it was during that time when we got it. But GoldenEye 007, the one that came out for the Wii, Eurocom did that one as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I remember the thing that had me most excited about that game was actually the golden classic controller.
Oh, I still have mine.
Yep. I
still got mine, and I use it actually with my NES and my SNES Classic. It actually works really well.
I have a very interesting story to share someday about perhaps about how I ended up getting that controller.
I am very curious to hear that because since I love that game. That game.
It didn't come with the game.
It's not the GoldenEye that I remember, but it was a nice, different interpretation of it.
I got that. All I'll say is I did not get the game. I did not get the controller with the game.
Oh, okay.
But I want to go back to something. I am stuck, by the way. So if you have any insight, let me know.
Let me see.
But I before we do that, I think I go down here, but I don't remember. But before we do that, something I mentioned yesterday in our Prince of Persia stream, and I didn't really follow up on, but I thought maybe I'll just throw this out there. It was something I kind of go back and forth sometimes. Like, I think what personal information, maybe in the moment I'm like, oh, do I share that? And then later I realized actually I'd like to share it because it's also kind of part of the fun about sharing about these games and the experiences is kind of also putting out there for posterity these stories about gaming. But I mentioned about Prince of Persia being the first SNES game I actually played because the demo kiosk was set up with that game when we picked up our SNES.
Oh, okay.
So the thing that happened leading up to that, my first ever video game was Super Mario Brothers, and I didn't know about video games prior to that game. And actually, my grandparents picked up, my grandpa handed me the box for, I think it was for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been for my birthday. I actually have to go back and double check my NES. But years later, we were broken into, and
Oh,
my NES or our NES and all of our games were stolen. And at
yep.
the time, the SNES was already out, and I didn't really know that actually.
Oh,
It had
okay.
just kind of come out just a little bit prior, and so when insurance was processed and my parents were talking, and it was like, well, do we replace that? Yeah, we should, and let's replace it with what we can get. Will we go and they say, oh well, the Super Nintendo's out, and that's what you should get because the NES is older and whatnot. But
Yeah.
basically what it came down to is that somehow through that process we ended up with both, because we ended up with the Super Nintendo, and that's what we went to replace the NES with, and I didn't know. And
Yeah.
then my mom's like, yeah, but we can't play the old games, and what about these old games we enjoyed? And so we ended up picking up an NES as well, and that was kind of the
Oh, nice.
start of, I guess, when I started to realize I liked having all of these systems, because it was like retaining the old NES games too, because they were still valuable. It wasn't just, well, that it's no longer the newest thing, just chuck it. So that
Right.
mentality kind of stayed with me. So I don't know. I'm
Oh,
sure there's more I could think about and reflect and share on that, but I just thought it was a little something that I wanted to share with you, at least.
that
Um,
is really cool.
yeah, not a fully formed story, not a story I've really shared before. So
I like
yeah.
it. It makes me think because actually I had my house broken into as well before, and unfortunately my video games were their highlight because they realized I have a big collection. So, and I had to re-get this game, but that's when I got it for like $5, so it
Hmm.
was fine. But because the boxes were gone in my instruction booklets, all my instruction booklets were in a Ziploc bag from SNES, Game Boy, and 64, and all that. So
Oh.
they were all in a secret place. So, and they didn't take those, but they took the games. But it's funny. Everyone was telling me, "Oh, you got to get this game first." And one of the first games I got back was this one in particular, because I'm like, I had to have this game back because this game gave me so much more nostalgia
Oh.
than a lot of the main ones.
Well, now I'm really glad that I shared that story, because it's nice to have that connection, like with with you talking about being broken into. It's not a
Yeah,
pleasant thing, and I feel like it actually has quite an impact. Anyone
it
who's
does.
been broken into it,
You know,
it's very it stays with you,
it
for a
does.
long time, and it does have an impact. It
Oh,
definitely is invasion,
absolutely.
and it does harm, but. Oh, Saving Liberty, thank you so much for that host. I appreciate that. How was your
Liberty,
stream?
awesome.
And by the way, I figured out maybe another way to go, but then I'm stuck again.
Okay, let's take a look here. I also got to remember I'm like 15 to 20 seconds delay, so I gotta
Yeah, there's
look
an
at that in that
additional
regard.
delay with this particular game too, because of the retro. Oh, I wonder if I go down
Right.
here. Oh, wait a minute. I can go here.
Yeah, if you go down
Oh, this is
there.
it. Okay, I got it.
Yep. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. I just that part, I remember even the first time I played it, that it
Yeah.
always scared me. Like, I don't know what to do
Yeah,
here.
and that's one thing I really like about this game too, because it's not so linear.
Right.
It really is not a very linear game. I mean, it does have some paths that you kind of have to go, but it really does open you up to, hey, you can go this way or you can go this way. This is one of the first games I truly played that I really felt like I can kind of go a little bit my own way. It's not directly, not 100%.
Right.
But there is some elements of that I really never seen in a video game, because I was so used to playing Mario, and Mario is very kind of left to right more.
It is.
There's some elements, but most, like I'd say 95% of the time,
Ghost
pretty
houses are maybe the one exception. This is like
yeah,
a variation of the ghost houses, but with
yeah,
the entire
absolutely,
game.
yeah. That's probably the good way to put it right there. Evil guy, welcome back.
Hey, evil guy. What did you
He's like,
miss?
what did I miss?
Oh, that's a good question.
Um,
Oh, you
I
missed.
think basically yeah. Oh,
You
go
missed
ahead.
some good stories actually, but that's all right.
Yeah.
We'll catch you up. You'll hear him again. But we've been just kind of chatting away. I'm making progress. We are, of course,
Yeah,
training
you're
as
doing
ninjas
really
now.
good.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, you are the ninja.
I am the ninja. I am the ninja.
There
But
you go.
yeah, evil guy. Oh, there we go. Found the secret area. I think there's a... Oh!
Good job.
I missed. Shucks. Oh, I was hoping that I could have done a cool thing there. I think we're just going to go for the exit and avoid some of that treasure.
Yeah, that might be a little challenging. I mean, this game does require some skill.
Yeah. Yeah, platforming and timing. The combat is still a little tricky. I actually...
Yeah, I still can't master that one.
I wonder
Even
if...
after playing this game for about 20 years, I still can't master the combat.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the intent was. You know, a lot of times what I discovered later on with a lot of games is that there was sort of a method that was intended by the developers that I just didn't get and I didn't understand.
Well, I think maybe one method here that they might have used is the fact, you know, especially with karate and all those type of things that, you know, obviously the main thing with a lot of those type of things, they want to use more defense instead of attack because, and it looks like to me in this kind of regards, and maybe I'm completely off. I could be, okay? So don't 100% quote me on this. This is just kind of a guess out of nowhere. But I feel like maybe the best maneuver sometimes.
Maui! Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
Yo,
the legend foretells only a great warrior will save us, not you. Don't get involved. You'll just ruin everything like always. This is your only warning.
That's definitely one way to put it. Oh, that's funny. But I feel like the idea is kind of like not really to just go out and attack because, you know, kind of do get hit by it very easily. So I feel like that you should try to use it more and less for defense. Like I said, I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I think about video games, there's I know, yeah. It's almost like there's this this language that you learn in different genres of games. You know, it's how do you process, how do you communicate, how do you play some of these games. And you know, I started again with Mario. I mean, I started with the bare basics, you know, of platforming and you know, really refined platforming. And yeah, bare basics, not an insult. I mean, it's like refined, you know, platforming. And so I think that for a long time, anything that was outside of that felt confusing and unfamiliar. And I actually remember the first time I played The Legend of Zelda being really confused because I didn't understand what was going on, you know. But now I can even say that even like this is a different language. It's not purely platforming. Obviously, there's a combat mechanic, so there's something about that too. But
and elements of puzzle too.
And elements of puzzle exploration for sure. So it was a pretty advanced game, actually. You're right. I really don't. I just wonder how this game was made. Who thought that this is what we're gonna do? Oh, I think this is the final round. Hold on.
Wikipedia is my friend. I kind of want to know a little bit more about this game myself.
Oh yeah, so please read up and do share. I think this is the final batch. These are like the purely dressed in black ninja. Oh dear, I'm actually really nervous. Come on, one more go. Oh, I'm down to 25 health. Okay, please. 50. More. Oh
yeah, the full black ducks. Ooh, those are really.
Oh boy, what's going on here? What is this? Oh, I see what's going on. Okay.
Ooh, that was good job.
Whew. Good job. Thank you. Oh man. And then this whole nonsense. What is going on here?
I think you have to hit that thing.
Yeah, I was. Oh.
The duck of mana, art of duck.
Hey, it's a 1-up. Nice. 35 health though. Okay. Woo! Zershade, hello! Well, alright everyone, we just completed another level. We found, look, we found, what, 50-60% of the treasures. So, yeah. Is that Daisy Duck? No, evil guy. Nope. But we're gonna play that same section with the fireworks. So we need to get all of the fireworks. Oh, this is bonus 2, though. I think this is laid out differently. Oh, dear. Okay, we're gonna try this. Oh man, Scooter's gonna be. Oh, I bet I'm on AFK. Hold on a sec. Hold on. Yep, I'm sorry, I went AFK again.
There you go. No problem.
Why does Discord not like me?
Discord doesn't like anyone. I've been Discord, so you're not alone.
Well, I actually think I do know what it is I set it so that I have very little noise gate, and this was actually intentional for, in fact, I have no noise gate, and I did this for the ability to play music when playing the Dungeons and Dragons or Edge of the Empire games, because then I can actually have the background music piped to everyone else's audio. And so I didn't want it to cut out if it was quiet, but I just left it that way. So Discord recognizes it as I'm always on, which also to them I think means I'm not on, because nothing's changed. There's no inputs or anything like that. Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
I did find information on the game, so whenever you want to talk a little bit.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just see here. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
I've got...
These levels are so much fun, but they are annoying at the same time.
I've got one more to go. Oh, boy. I wish I knew where I was supposed to go. I've got 40 seconds, but it's going to go fast. Yes, I did it. Yes.
Yay. All right.
I get a password. Yay! I can grab my book now. I can put in this password.
Yeah, so then that way we at least have a save point. So that's great.
Yeah, that is actually really good. All right, let me do this real quick. So
yeah, I'll go ahead and write it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it like close as I did yesterday. So let's first write in Maui Mallard.
Yep.
And it is C N F J T S. There we go. So we've got.
Almost look like a password that spells credits, and you're not wrong. maybe that's our secret language.
Hey, Fizzbolts. Ooh, I'm thirsty. I had to just take a big old sip there. I am just loving this.
By me, by well.
Oh, Zizal says, cannot find Juju's toaster strudel.
Toaster strudel. I love it. Oh my god. You know, and that's what I'm glad that you said that, because I was eating a lot of toaster strudels when I was playing this game. No joke. That is so funny that you mentioned that.
That's
that was
hilarious.
My thing in the 90s.
That is so great. Zizal.
Actual egg, meat, or cheese, or whatever, one of those fruit. I ate both of those, so that's really funny that you mentioned that.
Fizzbolts, would you shout out Zizal for that amazing comment, please?
That was a really amazing comment right there. That was like, you really struck me in the heart with that one.
In the darkest heart of the island, there lives a band of tiny warriors who have always carried a torch for Shaboom Shaboom. They'd probably like to have a stuffed Maui mounted on their wall. Level 3, Mudrake Mayhem.
Oh, this one actually has a really good song in it too.
Okay, let's listen. Listen. All right. Oh, the little things, everything. Okay. Oh, all right. So, oh, man, they're all over. This reminds me of Earthworm Jim, actually.
There is some elements of Earthworm Jim too. Yes, you're not wrong about that.
Okay.
It seems like they took a lot of ideas from different platformers made, and they really made it actually work into their own design. That's what I really feel, because it has a lot of elements from different platformers that were on the SNES at the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Whew. All right. Oh yeah, this does have pretty nice music there. I like that. Oh.
Yeah, it's nice to a little upbeat to it. I like it. I don't know why. It brings a smile to my face. I mean, it's still not as good as World 2's song, the Ninja Training Ground, but it's still very catchy. Very catchy.
I love the jazzy music. I mean, it's just got this whole vibe to it.
And and that's another thing I like, how diverse the music in this. You
Right.
get so many different styles, and that just shows how much
Right.
creativity they had. They didn't stick to one kind of like style. They gave you so many different kinds.
Hey,
And it
Ratherripe,
works.
welcome to the stream. And Ratherripe says, "Tiny warriors of Shaboom Shaboom,
Shaboom,
I'm
shaboom.
definitely afraid." That's
Be
right.
afraid. Be very afraid.
Man, Donald Duck has gotten a lot more violent since I last saw him in Kingdom Hearts. I mean, just blasting my bug blaster, as a matter of fact.
Maybe this is where he
Welcome.
got his idea of becoming violent.
Scooter, would you like to give do the honors of a quick synopsis of what this game is for our friend Ratherite?
So you just like a general synopsis of it?
Or just like an explanation of what is this game?
It's really hard to say that because there's so much going on in it.
Hey, Ginny.
It's not really a way to like say it in one word. But I guess the best way I can think of it is it is Donald Duck, obviously, but he is I like to think he's like acting out as a character. Like I really think of it as like this is like his own Magnum PI, but more kid friendly, I guess. I think that was a really funny way to generalize it. It actually kind of does work, but I think what really brings this game out is its creativity and uniqueness, because it's not really based off of anything. There's no cartoon, at least that I know of. I gotta look more at the Wikipedia, which I will talk to you guys a few minutes about. But and so maybe we can get some more details off this game, and like where it came from and whatnot. But I mean, it to me, it just really is probably one of the most unique platformers, especially from Disney, because Disney was really well known at this time of doing stuff from their licensed movies or TV shows and etc. And this is very interesting to see them break the mold and create a game that's not based off anything that I know of. Like I said, I will double check that once I read more on Wikipedia about it. But it feels very unique.
And these are the mudrakes. Yes, I am basically a private eye in this kind of film noir-esque story. It's just delightful. It really is. I mean, it's just that kind of creative nonsense. And look, now I'm little miniature Maui, excuse me. And yeah,
have to say Donald.
Yeah. It's not Howard the Duck, rather.
No, it's definitely not Howard the Duck. Oh, that movie gives me back memories. Oh.
Well, I never saw it. I just knew the connection with Lucas and whatnot. But I recall actually going through a couple of the comics. Very, shall we say, interesting. Also, an appearance made in, I believe it was Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy, so I don't know.
Oh, there's actually a little cameo. It's not a spoiler, it's not like a story element, but there's a little cameo of Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess.
In some shape or form. Oh, and by the way, I don't think we really did say we might have a hi, Jenny, because I know she came.
Hello, Ginny. Welcome to the stream. Oh, my friend. Oh, everyone's here tonight. This is awesome.
No, we got awesome people, and I'm glad that they're here to see this, because I really want people to see this game. And again, for people who are here and stuff, if you have any comments or questions, maybe we can answer about this game. We'll try our best, but it's not a very easy black and white answer with the game. It has a lot of goofiness and wackiness that takes it really to its own level. But and we also really do want to know what your thoughts is. Does this make you want to try this game? Find it yourself for the Super Nintendo. Again, you can also find it on PC and Sega Genesis, but I'm gonna be the one to advise you not to get the Sega Genesis.
I didn't even know until I was preparing for this stream that there were other versions other than the Super Nintendo version.
Yes.
And then I saw that there was a Genesis version, and I thought, the thing about Genesis and Super Nintendo in that era is, I mean, obviously I was a Nintendo fan, and so I stuck with Nintendo, and I used to always think between the two I'd rather go with the Super Nintendo version. But a lot of times, for certain games, they were completely different games, and so I actually like having both. And in the very rare occasion where, usually when a game was designed for Genesis first and then ported, the Genesis version sometimes is superior, I hate to admit. Lion King being a good example. Ms. Mana actually loved that game, and I remember being so frustrated by it and not liking it, and it was like we had these two separate experiences. And I thought, well, surely the two games are similar enough. I mean, we played the same game, but on Genesis and on Super Nintendo. Come to find out that there were elements that were changed. Very subtle, one might think. But but they were changed just enough to add difficulty. For example, in the Genesis version, you can hop over the whole segment where you have to ride on hippo tails and completely bypass it, where in the Super Nintendo version, it's almost a game-breaking section because you can't hardly pass it. Or another great example of this would be Mickey Mania. Now, I would still say the Super Nintendo version would be the one I'd play, but simply for the effect, I was watching some director's commentary. Simply for the effect, in the Super Nintendo version of the game, they said, hey, we can have more sprites on screen. So in the section with the Mad Doctor, when you hit one of the skeletons and they break into a million bones that just fly across the screen, well, in the Super Nintendo version, it almost is a million bones. In the Genesis version, it's about 6 or so. The thing is, every bone can hurt you, and so as they are ricocheting across the screen, when you only have 6, it's doable. When you have, 12 or more on the Super Nintendo version, it's really tough. So, it's funny the little tiny details that are different. Uh-oh, did I go into AFK mode? Oh. Let's fix this. I went into AFK mode. You missed all the cool story, but
No, I actually turned down the audio so I could listen.
Oh, good. I'll fight this and let you catch up.
Sure. I mean, I pretty much heard what you were saying, and it was really interesting talking about Lion King.
Did you hear the part about the Mickey Mania?
Yes, I did hear that too.
That's, I think, my favorite moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. But interesting with Lion King, like I know a lot of people are gonna say, like, the Sega Genesis was kind of like more well played. But one thing that you're not gonna beat on the Super Nintendo version is the music.
Music and graphics. Actually, music is always better on Super Nintendo, I find.
I wouldn't say always. There is
almost
shining. Yeah, almost.
I can't think of any. Let me put it this way. I can't think of an example of a game that was ported between the two where the Genesis version I prefer. There's Genesis music that holds itself up to Super Nintendo version, but when it comes to ports, no.
Well,
like a great example of that would be one of my hidden gems I'd love to play someday, which is Hook. I love Hook for the Super Nintendo, but man, the audio is brilliant on the Super Nintendo and just rough on the Genesis version.
Yeah. One game I could think of actually a decent example that there's some people that, I still think the Super Nintendo version was better, but some people have really argued with me of they like the sound better on the Sega Genesis. But there's still one big problem. So I'll explain myself in just a second here. So the game that had the debate with me was Street Fighter. Now, I personally still like Street Fighter sound on the Super Nintendo, but they got me to sit there and actually listen to the soundtrack of the Sega Genesis version, and I realized I liked it, but there was still one big problem: the sound effects. The sound effects were not good on Sega Genesis. I'm sorry. And then hearing them have sound voiceover when it says round 1 and fight, it just sounds so garbled and so I think I was a little bit more turned off by the sound effects than the sound of the music itself. But when I listen to the soundtrack by itself, it doesn't really sound bad. I think a reason why a lot of games got turned off by sound through the Sega Genesis was the sound. Usually, sound effects were nowhere near compare to what Super Nintendo could do for it, especially voiceover.
And then the more popular Model 2 didn't have as good a quality audio components as the Model 1, so then you're already at a disadvantage, and but then there are a lot of examples. Well, Earthworm Jim actually has been talked about, so Rather Ripe's mentioning it because he sees a connection with this game, is wondering if this was made by Shiny. It is not, but I will say, actually, the Genesis version of Earthworm Jim it is actually probably the superior version. I like it because it is not stretched. The interesting thing is the aspect ratio between the Super Nintendo and the Genesis were different. And so the games that were ported or built on one and ported to the other would either look skinnier or fatter, depending on which one you were playing. So, yeah, interesting little thing there.
That is a lot of the Disney games had that problem too. A lot of Disney games like Lion King, Aladdin, had that same problem where it was a little more stretched out, so you didn't get to see so much of the surroundings compared to the Sega Genesis. That was a problem in a lot of those games, and you gotta admit the Nintendo's faults. It's not perfect. It's gonna have mistakes somewhere, and fortunately, that was one that was big on Rather Ripe.
I was gonna wait for Zizal's. What do you call that when you make it an acronym? I guess like a mnemonic device.
License plate. When you look at license plates and you try to figure out what they were trying to make.
The mnemonic tool. But Rather Ripe just says, just remember foam butt. Which, okay. Now, let's see. Rather Ripe also says to Evil Guy, well, that's more cartoon violence. The only Disney cartoon that I know of that used any kind of gun was Darkwing Duck, but that was more of a multi-tool than a weapon. That is very true.
Very true.
And, and Zizal says, Philadelphia has more Burger Time taxis. Yes, bravo, good sir. Bravo. But this round, if you wouldn't mind giving a shout out to Rather Ripe. I think Rather Ripe wins this round, though I do like Zizal's as well. Next password, feel free to try and chime in with how we're going to remember it. A Mudrake alliance has been forged.
I don't think I can come up with
the Mudrakes, The Mudrakes have a custom. If you survive their Colosseum, they bestow upon you the ultimate honor. Sacrifice of Maui.
The sacrifice.
Rather Ripe says, I'm offline. What do you mean? What? Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean offline? Like you're watching this phone or something like that?
But anyway, we are now in a volcano, which has a totally tubular, fire-tastic, scientifically super fire fairy.
Oh, it's gonna get hot.
Feeling hot.
Hot. How you feeling? Hot.
Oh my gosh. Cowabunga. Welcome to the 90s.
Super Nintendo game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Zizal goes, has science gone too far? Oh my gosh, this is great.
And honestly, I think you've passed where I don't think I've beaten that mandrake, so I think you're farther than I am.
Yay!
And I'm liking it, so that's cool.
Yay! I'm doing a thing, everyone. That never happens.
But I never really sat down. I have very big ADD about video games. I have to play something else more and more. That's probably why my streams are a little bit more. Why don't you just play one game through? I can't do it. I just can't do it.
To be fair, this is farther than I have ever gotten in the game too. I'm almost certain. In fact, I don't even know if I recall having gotten to the Mudrake section. If I'm honest.
Well, then this could be new territory for both of us. All right.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was that way too with games. I mean, I would put a lot of time into them. I wouldn't necessarily get very far. And as people know, as I've pointed out, and I pointed out last stream, I'm more about enjoying a multitude of games and thinking about gaming in general. I'm not a great gamer. I mean, I'm not going to be.
No.
I'm not good. Twitch is not going to. Yeah, I'm no completionist. Twitch isn't going to be featuring me on their front page because of my skills.
Yeah, same here.
But no, I mean, to me, I feel like just the ability to share this with everyone is really cool. I mean, that's honestly,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's what I love about the gaming side of streaming, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, see, I'm the same way because I mean, if you really want to sit there and watch someone beat a game, you can listen to a lot of people that don't have any commentary and they just sit there and play the game through. I feel as a streamer, I need to be entertaining while I'm playing a game, and it really, in the end, shouldn't really matter what game I play, even though it kind of does, kind of does. But I feel the main goal is to be entertaining myself
Mm-hmm.
instead of having the
Yeah.
game do the talk. Like the game is like the background and you're the foreground. That's like the best way.
Yeah, it's yeah. It depends on how you're approaching that, because I feel like you could also say the same in reverse, and it would be accurate.
That's
You
true,
know,
too.
it's weird.
That is very true too. It really can go two different ways here.
Yeah.
It depends on your style, I guess.
Yeah.
What it really is.
But one thing I was going to say too is that the last time I played this game, of course, I was much younger, and I think that my ability to understand how games work, especially retro games, has improved over time. You know, not to say that I'm still not a amazing gamer, but I can tell that this game is so much easier now. I know I'm playing on easy, but so much easier now for me because I'm being patient in sections. I'm figuring out how the mechanics work. I'm not just kind of, as I did the first time, trying to run through it like a Mario game.
Right. Yeah. This game definitely takes a lot more strategy than I think a Mario game does. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still some strategy in Mario. This one really kind of like keeps you on the tip of your toes. And now as a kid, you're not going to be thinking. You're just going to be playing. And
Right.
you're going to make tons of mistakes. So I feel like that this game definitely takes more strategy. And again, that's probably another reason why I like this game, because it's out of the norm. It's not
Yeah.
doing what every other game is doing, and that's why I think it really sticks out to me as a hidden gem compared to others. And unfortunately, I think at the same time, because it didn't stick with the norm, that's why it didn't get the praise.
Oh.
At least, well, not the praise, but the fame that it probably should have gotten.
I'm gonna say goodnight to MS Gamer, who
yeah.
needs to head to bed because it's midnight. Thank you so much for hanging out. And Globe Man, welcome to the stream. We're having a lot of fun with this kind of hidden gem of a game here. Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow. Rather Hype says, if you've seen me play Monster Hunter World, you know I'm pretty similar. Sometimes I think I take way too long just exploring all the nuances of the levels. I guess I get a little too into the game itself and forget the fact that, oh wait, I'm supposed to be progressing instead of spending 6 days in the first area.
That's a good point.
Yep.
That's a really good point. And speaking of talking about like the appraisal that I get, I actually did look on here, just a little sneak peek of the Wikipedia,
Yes.
and actually there were some reviews done for the game.
Oh,
Very few. But
like
Game
Nintendo Power, or
Nintendo Power was one of them.
what did Nintendo Power say about this game? I'm curious to know.
All right. They
I
didn't
probably
write
read
any-
it at some point. They didn't like it?
No, they didn't write. Like, there's nothing I could see, but they gave
Oh.
a score.
Oh, okay.
4.3 out of 5.
Hey, that's not bad. Pretty good,
No, that's-
actually.
That's almost a 90%. That's like probably in the ballpark about 86%,
Oh,
roughly, give or take.
I gotta pause for a second and real talk for a moment, because Evil Guy just said something that actually I really appreciate it. Evil Guy says, Manny, you're an amazing gamer. You don't have to have skills to be an amazing gamer. Just look at your large library of games and knowledge on them. And
Yes.
I really do appreciate that, because yeah. Fizz says, I find that if you enjoy the game and are having fun with it and show that fun to the chat, that's a good way to stream. Well, thank you,
Absolutely.
Fizz. I think I can sometimes be a little self-conscious about it, because
Oh, I am.
once I started streaming, and I will say, I actually do find that I can impress myself with streaming sometimes if I don't, or impress myself with gaming if I'm not streaming it. Like today, oh my gosh. So today I got my online Nintendo service.
Yay!
And yay! And I did try out one player Super Mario Brothers just to see if it worked and all that good stuff. But I went on to Splatoon 2, and I was kind of happy because I thought, this is good because we're not gonna have maybe as many people online, so maybe that'll
That's my fault.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the reality was actually I went into ranked mode. I was playing tower control, and I shocked myself. In fact, I need to publish some of these things on Twitter. I had moments where I had 18 splats in a round, which
Wow.
I was like, "Good job, man." um,
See, yeah.
yeah, it was like it was really it was I was pretty impressed with myself.
That is really something to be impressed about. It's funny because I was playing Splatoon 2 earlier, and I kind of had the opposite effect to me. Like
Oh
I
no.
feel like now I'm getting all the really good players on Splatoon 2, so it's making me look worse. Maybe I don't know, but I didn't have too many good games, and I'm like, do I stink at this game? Did I just play
I
people
hate
who
that.
weren't really good?
That's the thing about Splatoon 2, though. It definitely is a game that it either knocks you down or it builds you up. I mean, it can go one of two ways. It never is in the middle. Yeah, I've had my share of those times where I'm like, oh dear, that's not that's not how I wanted that to go, you know? Anyway, this boss segment is really tough. Zizal has to go to bed. Good night, Zizal. Thank you so much. Past my
Good night,
bedtime,
Zizal.
Zizal says. And Rather Ripe says, Art of Man is still grumpy about having to pay 20 bucks for the Switch service. Hopefully Nintendo makes enough improvements and changes to justify the subscription fee. Fair enough, but I will say, and maybe I should put together some kind of review video of it or whatnot, but
I
uh,
would love to do one with you on that. 'Cause I got a lot
we
to
should
say
do
about it.
that. We should do that because
I'm totally willing to, because I definitely got a lot of thoughts on this.
I think it would be a timely thing to do, especially a helpful thing because not everyone has probably watched all of the directs and
Yes.
read all of the information about it and you know looked through it like we probably have and
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I will just say that my impression just from playing with it today is I actually, whether it was lucky or not, I had no disconnects in Splatoon 2, and I played it for a couple hours. I had, thankfully, a little bit of an opportunity to do that. And the NES, Netflix of NES, can only improve, and it already was really cool. And I think, I haven't tried the online part, but I mean, I'm excited to.
I have.
Yeah, so, and you said it was pretty good, right?
Yeah, I play with JP, and a lot of people know JP doesn't have as high internet as I do, as you can see from his streams, which doesn't make him a bad streamer. I'm not saying
No.
don't take that in any kind of way, but so what happened is when I started playing, I realized one thing I had to do, and they let you know in there if you want to get better frame rate and better thing, you turn on low latency. My problem. We played Mario 3 for about 2 hours roughly.
Nice.
2 hours. And we only had one lag part. And
Oh,
it
wow.
lasted for about 5 seconds. But then it was gone and went leveled back away. And then I played later on with a streamer that has about probably like the same area of online that I do. He's a pretty cool streamer and whatnot. We played for, I'd probably say about 45 minutes. And we had no lag.
Nice.
Period. No lag. It played nicely. So it's really honestly just like any games and any online service. It's gonna depend on your online. If you have solid online, your experience should be pretty darn good. But there will be probably still some parts. I mean, this is also the way I look at it too. They just brought this out, okay?
Right.
So they're all they can do really is go high from here, you know?
Right.
This is so as a low point, I think they did a pretty successful job because I also played Splatoon earlier and I had no drops or anything like that. I played just fine.
Yeah.
I didn't play as long as you did, but I played it and there was no lag on my part, so that seemed to be fine. But you know, obviously I didn't really suck in yet, and we'll see how it keeps going. But I think as a beginning, it's a really solid start. And I know $20 seems like a lot, but when you think about it, it's $20 a year. This is not $20 you have to do a month or, you know, something like that. This is for a full year. And when you think compared to $60 from PS4, Xbox One, even though they do technically give you a little bit more than what the Nintendo service does as of right now, you know, this obviously can change. during the period. We don't know exactly 100% what else is Nintendo going to do with this. Are they going to bring Super Nintendo games? Are they going to do more? Is the service like with us paying now? Are they going to be able to make the servers a lot better? We kind of don't know what Nintendo has up their sleeves about it because they kind of didn't really let us know. They kind of let us in the dark a little bit about it.
By the way, I should mention this Saturday, my stream is still a little up in the air. So Dark Solid X, who I believe is still in the chat, informed me that he cannot stream that day. So we're not going to play either Maple Story or Don't Starve Together. Because those are the games that he and I need to play. Those were requested by him. But also, I'm still not sure about Harem, so we may not play Digimon Masters Online. And so what I'm thinking right now is if that does not happen, my plan is to actually play the Nintendo Online service. Excuse me. And just play online and just kind of go through, do like a roulette wheel of the games and just enjoy a little bit of diversity of the online stuff there.
That'll be really cool, and it's actually really nice. And I'll tell you this, you'll figure it out, but it's really, really cool that one thing I like that they did with the service is the fact that you don't have to really wait for someone to join you online. You can start playing a game while you're waiting for someone to join you online. That is a cool little feature that I was surprised that they did, and it's so nice and freely. I could sit there and play Tecmo Bowl while I'm waiting for a friend to come in. It's like, hey, you want to play Mario 3? And then we can easily switch out of it, and we're in the game.
That's cool.
Is so fast. I swear, there's no loading or anything of the sort. You go to
this
the game,
is a cool level.
in.
Whoa, okay, this is fun. This is different. Check this out. So I'm on this little floating rock, and I just have to go left and right. And so, you know, after a nice little chase scene, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
So yeah, no, that's good to know too. So my thought is to basically just go through that on Saturday and then lead right into Fizzbolt's stream because she's got some kind of special plan. So we're gonna go ahead and raid and go into her stream on Saturday.
That'll be awesome.
But Friday night, I'm actually going to do a special stream here because we've got something kind of cool. We're going to be playing Pokken Tournament, and then we're going to be playing some Splatoon 2 Splatfest. So that'll be Friday night. So I'm trying to kind of go through all of these requests of mana and really catch up. So that is Pokken Tournament for Car9, and then of course the Splatfest. I can't say no to the Splatfest.
Oh, yeah, and I told you I would definitely join you for that.
Oh, yes, please. Oh, the animation! The animation of how you get squashed in this is brilliant.
Oh my, I love the animation. They did such a great job of every little detail. That's why I told you this game is amazing. It's just a detail.
There's stuff you can do. You control... Oh, okay. Oh, I need to get better at this. I just realized, so you can control the lava a little bit. You can kind of push it up and then push it down. So I wasn't doing that, which was to my detriment. Oh, and apparently still to my detriment. Fizzbolts was setting up for that stream, and just earlier today, in fact, I is so excited. She says, "I am very excited, Fizzbolts. I'm looking forward to it."
Unfortunately, I will be gone Saturday. That's why I'm doing Friday stream instead. Because I did in the video say I'm going to be switching, so I'm not officially stuck on my schedule just yet because there's obviously a lot going on. I'm still trying to finish up before I can really get my schedule straight. But yeah, so I'm switching I'm keeping my Friday just for at least probably one more time.
Okay.
So, I look at let me decide that.
Real talk, this is tough.
Oh, I can look at that. I'm thinking, oh man, I'd probably have trouble with it too.
Oof. All right, so there's the trick. I see what you got to do. You got to time it just right, so that right as you go over that rock, you push down and you get just a little bit of a buffer. There we go. Huh. We lost like 5 lives though. Oof. But we made it. Okay. Oh, we're not out of the fire yet. Okay.
Oof.
Man, this is tricky.
Oh, trickiness. Trickiness.
Ugh. Okay.
But yeah, I'm actually excited for this Splatfest because this is up my alley. You know, retro versus modern. Everyone would know that.
Yeah.
Retro.
Oh, and I loved the little commentary on it today. It was so great.
That's the one thing I really love about Splatoon 2 is their little jabs at each other, like for whatever Splatfest they're doing. They always have some really funny comments against each other. That's one thing I really like about the Pearl and Marina thing.
Yep. I really liked that they actually made some references to the original Splatoon as well, which was really cool.
Yes, that was really cool.
So another thing is, I should just let you all know. Oh gosh, this is getting intense. But
oh my goodness,
my plans for next week. Now I am still trying to get through a lot of different things, and this is subject to change. But I'm tentatively thinking 2 things to play next week, which actually probably should double check something before I actually say this.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. There's actually some. Oh no, this is the Babaloo baby. Is it called Dragalia Lost? Is that the mobile game that's coming out?
I have not heard of that.
That's Nintendo's new RPG mobile game.
Oh, that game. Oh, I've seen things on Facebook about it.
So it's one that I actually do want to stream and intend to. I want to say it's coming out on Friday the 28th, but I could be wrong. Anyways,
check that for you?
Sure. I'm not sure. I haven't looked ahead to decide exactly when I'm going to stream it, but hopefully really close to when I stream that. There's another game that came out recently on the eShop that is based on a board game that I have had in my possession for a number of years, and there's a whole long story to it. It involves a lot of complex parts and things to glue together and paint and whatnot. And I've actually for a while thought about streaming that and that process perhaps, but also what I'm hoping to do is to play it with some friends. But there's a version of that board game that was also made into, and now the board game was based on the idea of a video game, but they made another board game that they made a video game based off of, and that video game is on the Switch, and I intend to play that, as well as perhaps a Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD stream at some point. So those are some things I'd like to just try, probably as one-offs. I don't think I'd end up actually playing through them completely, but I just want to do a one-off of them because they're kind of unique, and I'm really curious, especially about the board game one. So, okay, everyone, it's time to give us your best, what do you call this? Your best mnemonic device for remembering this password. The password is NFXDQH.
I'm thinking NFX dope. I don't know why. NFX dope. I don't know why.
Unfortunately, it's a Q, not a no. Oh,
I know, but because
close.
the Q doesn't really have that, like, you know,
it's true.
Q thing.
The Q doesn't have that Q thing. That's funny.
Yeah. I know. That was very descriptive, right?
That's right. And Ginny says, you leave Gam Gam out of this. That's right. That was hilarious in Splatoon 2. It was so
by the
great.
way, I can confirm September 27th for that game.
27th. Okay, so Thursday, actually.
Yes.
Or no, Friday. No, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
No, Thursday. That's a week.
Right. Okay, so, yeah. Oh, cool. Well, I'll have to figure that out. Okay, we've got Fizzbolt says nothing fades except the quick heat.
I kind of like that. That's actually pretty good.
Nothing fades except the quick heat. The quick heat, like man. That. The quick heat's gonna fade, yo.
The quick heat will show you the
Hey, daddy-o, what's a fading around here? The quick heat, man. Yeah. Keep it. Don't be square. Keep it cool. Yeah, all right. You know what? Fizzbolts, you get a shout out. I'll do this one since reasons.
I mean, I couldn't go. I tried.
Yours was valid. It was not. If it was an O, I think I would have done it. But yeah.
Okay. I tried. Okay, it was hard. That was
No,
not
it
easy.
was tough. It was tough. I'll give you that. Oh, we got
But
some.
I mean, but I
Maui,
guess
I
one
was
thing I
wrong
could-
about you. You've answered every test of greatness that can be asked of a duck. But now you must make peace with the mudrakes. For only they know the true path to Shaboom Shaboom. You must pass their ritual of proof. Oh boy, the test of duckhood.
Test your duckhood.
Hey, actually, I just realized we're getting pretty close to the end of the game.
I think so. I don't think this game is super long.
No, in fact, I'm gonna just take a look, but in the manual it actually shares. Oh, actually, yeah, no, never mind. It's a little bit longer than I thought. There are 8 levels, and we are on the 5th. So, I'll tell you what, though. I mean, so far, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but so far this is pretty doable. It is 10:26. Actually, shoot. Should we maybe call it a stream here and return to this game on another night?
I mean, I would totally be up for whatever, because I mean, I do love this game and I would love to see it return for a stream too. I could really go either way. Oh, and by the way, I just thought of something with that password.
Yep.
You're gonna like this.
Uh-oh.
I wish it had an S in the beginning, because it would have been like the Super FX. The Super
Yes,
FX chip.
nice. I like that.
But it was close.
So let's see. Well, we didn't really start right away. Let's say that we've been playing like an hour and a half of this game so far.
Yeah.
And we've gotten through half the game, essentially.
Probably.
So we could put another hour and a half in, but I have a feeling it'll be longer than that. You know what I mean?
There is a good chance, because this game is only going to get harder. So
Right.
there's probably going to be deaths along the way.
So what do you, those of you in chat, what do you think? What should we do? Should we come back to this game on another night refreshed and leave it there? We just got a password. We're in a good place. Who knows what awful things are going to happen very soon.
Or other cheesy passwords will come up with.
Right. But I mean, I would totally be down for revisiting this. I think it's a lot of fun. Fizz says I say come back only because I need to sleep.
That's a fair enough excuse.
It's a fair point. Ginny says the same. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we should probably do.
I would definitely like to come back and chat more about this, and then actually next time I'll come back and then I'll actually go into deep cover, and what I'll do is I'll actually make some notes, and so that way I don't have to have Wikipedia up, and I'll make some very important notes that I thought that were very interesting.
That would be awesome. I would love to do that. So I think we are going to call it a stream. This is actually, I gotta tell you, I loved this stream. I just think this is the kind of thing I want to do more of, because really it's the kind of sharing the love of these classic games, the insight that we have, that I just find so enjoyable about streaming. So I've enjoyed your commentary. It was great having you, Scooter. I actually, like I had mentioned to you before, I had thought maybe we would just have the opening introduction. We would kind of talk a bit about the game, and then I would switch over to single player or just solo. The funny thing is, we never stopped. I mean, it was an ongoing conversation for like 2 hours that just was so natural. And it was all the stuff that I wanted to talk about this game. So I'm so glad we had that opportunity.
I'm glad too, and I'm glad that my commentary and stuff about the game really helped keep it moving along, because I was a little bit worried, because I don't want to get too giddy about this game, but of course my kid instincts are going crazy right now. But because obviously I have a lot of fair share memories of this game, but I think it was really fun how then we got to talk about like a lot of history behind this game, but as well also a lot of our personal memories. So it really helped, and
For
it'll be
sure.
really fun to come back to this one and then actually go into more deep, see if we can find any like interesting facts about this game. Like maybe they did some more advertising on this game. Maybe they did surprise us. No,
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see. I want to try to look and find more information to see where did this game come from? Like, what made Disney think about this, or Eurocom? You know, I just want to know their mindset behind the game. Like, it really does feel like it came out of nowhere, but maybe it didn't. So I would love to look at a little bit more history of this game, and I'll definitely write some notes and stuff, and I'll definitely have that for the next time we stream that for sure.
Sounds great. Well, here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to remind everyone once again that I am streaming Friday night and Saturday morning. I'm looking forward to those streams. I'm looking forward to other good things with you. We're going to wind this down, and we're going to raid a friend of Mana here, Arcane Seamstress, who we haven't raided in a long time. We've got a small but mighty band here. Please just join me in the raid and say hello to Arcane Seamstress. I know we all need to head to bed, but just a little hello and maybe hop in her chat. I mean, she's actually really close to partner level numbers, and just every little bit would help. So we're gonna go ahead and raid her.
Awesome.
Yeah, oh for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in this raid call in a second. Again, please join me, everyone. It's been so much fun as always. Do good and be well. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.
See you later.